moving on from that issue, when it comes to religious freedom, Article 9 of the European Convention makes quite clear, as it does in other articles, that you have the right to religious freedom, but not if it means breaking the law of the land, and if it's going to undermine the very democratic nature of the society. So it's a very simple response. If someone says, well, what about religious freedom? It's like, well, what are we talking about when we speak about Sharia law? Does it offend the principle of formal equality between the sexes? Yeah, okay, well, there's no right there. There's no right to introduce de facto or de jure a system of formal legal inequality between the sexes. Is there a right to religious freedom such that the entire legal jurisdiction of England and Wales is called into question, rendering it balkanised, unstable and susceptible to violent conflict? No, there's no such right.
Do you see that, the religious freedom?
The religious freedom, yeah. So this is something that I know we're all very interested in the European Convention on Human Rights, and whether we should be in it or not. But what I would say about generally convention rights, which are the foundations of our Domestic Human Rights Act and our human rights legal apparatus, is that there are very few human rights that are recognised in domestic law that are not qualified. And people forget this. And I think they forget this because we live in a legal culture which is now politicised to the extent that everything's about rights, nothing about the social contract, nothing about obligations. But if you look at human rights as actually properly embedded in a social contract, you don't have an unqualified right to anything pretty much except the right to life. Yeah. Okay, and even that's qualified, as we've seen, when it comes to female issue. When it comes to religious freedom, Article 9 of the European Convention makes quite clear, as it does in other articles, that you have the right to religious freedom, but not if it means breaking the law of the land.